Well, I barely saw any of it, but the Knicks pulled off the greatest comeback in NBA playoff history, down 29 in the third quarter and now up 3-1 in the NBA Finals as Ash and I do this live on a Thursday afternoon. Onorato and Miller. Knicks on the verge, Ash, of ending that title drought. We'll get into all of it. We're going to hear from Craig Melvin, today's show co-host, share our conversation with Craig that we recorded in the TV studio, and Chris Ballard, former Sports Illustrated columnist, reporter, writer. He has a third book out. We're going to talk to him about the book. We're going to talk to him about what the Knicks are doing. We've got World Cup starting. We've got a new highest paid quarterback in the NFL. A lot to do here on the show. Let's get started.
This is Onorato and Miller, sponsored by Alpenhaus.
Chris at home, Ash on the road.
On the road.
Again on a Thursday afternoon. 29 points with 9:27 to go in the third quarter. And as I said this morning on the news, it's not like it was 29-0 and the Knicks had all game to come back. All San Antonio had to do was hang on to a 29-point lead for a 1 3/4 of a quarter. Like, I don't know. I hate this question. Did the Spurs lose it or did the Knicks win it? It's obviously a combination of both. But, Ash, when you're up 29 in the third quarter, it's the Spurs losing it.
Yeah. Yes. I didn't see any of the comeback because you have the excuse of going to bed early. Like, these games start so late. I was watching. It was an 18-point game, and I felt myself fading. I was like, you know what? It's not any good. They're not playing well. Let's go night-night. And fell asleep on the couch, woke up later. The game was over. I looked at my phone and was like, holy cow. What in creation happened? And it got way worse than 18 or whatever I last looked at.
It was a 27-point game at the half, 29 a couple of minutes into the third quarter. And the Knicks just, out of control. And it was, 15 or whatever it was with a few minutes to go in the game.
Right. But you could start to tell then. You saw the scoring trend, and it was like quickly disappearing. So even once it went from like 15 to 8 or whatever it was, when I followed that trend, I thought, "Ooh, it's going in a hurry." So it makes sense that it all just started to fall apart,
and I don't love Team of Destiny stuff, right? I don't get into that kind of thing, but up 3-1 now, going back to San Antonio, and the blowouts and the winning streak leading into the NBA Finals, but now it's the comebacks or the collapses of the Spurs, however you want to characterize it. The Knicks have found every way to win in this postseason.
Every which way to do it. They've won ugly, they've won pretty, they've won big, they've come back from big. Listen, if that was a regular season game, 75% of that building leaves.
No question.
If people didn't pay $10,000 for a regular seat in the rafters and $100,000 for seats on the floor, they would have been gone.
Yeah,
and
no doubt about it.
The greatest comeback in NBA Finals history.
Yeah, what was that game? It was a finals game, remember, between the Spurs and the Heat, where the Miami fans left early, and Ray Allen hits that three, and they're all trying to get back into the building, and they couldn't.
Can do. Go watch it at a bar.
Brunson had 36. OG Anunoby had, forget even the 33 points.
Yep.
Right? He had 33 points.
And for that guy, that's a lot.
But he had of course, capped by the tip-in to win it. An incredible, I mean, like a final 6 or 15 seconds, I think, right, that will be talked about forever because he blocks De'Aaron Fox on one end with the Spurs up by 1 that should have been an easy lay-in. San Antonio goes up 3 with 10 seconds to go. That thing could be a wrap. So he does that. The Knicks get possession. They inbound. Brunson misses the 3. Anunoby tips it in. Like that stretch. I know the LeBron chase down block of Iguodala back in 2016 will live forever. Anunoby's block and tip in should, like, I don't know. I mean, one of the greatest sequences in Knicks history.
I think I've seen questions today about why is Fox shooting when he shoots. I don't know what the time was on there, but like, why are you not draining the clock? Why are you shooting? I'd have to go back and watch it. But of course, hindsight's 2020. Listen, people. Like,
yes.
When you think you have a shot, you take it because your team's falling apart at the seams. But yeah, again, a guy who he's been there, done that, won a title.
Yeah, Toronto. Right.
Has been in the big moments, is not the guy, but can be the guy clearly when he needs to be. But think about between two players, it's 69 points between two guys. That is almost as much as a team scores sometimes.
I wanted to get this exactly right. Anunoby blocked Fox's layup attempt with 11.1 seconds to go.
Okay, I'm wondering which was on the shot clock is probably the better question.
Well, no, it was a ball that was tipped into the front court for San Antonio, so it was a breakaway. I mean, I understand what you're asking.
Yeah.
The game clock would have run out before the shot clock, so Fox could have acted like he was going to attack the basket and then dribble to the corner, take the foul, and it probably would have killed another 3 or 4 seconds. You go to the free throw line, maybe you make the 2, and I get it. I get it.
All day long.
But if you feel like you've got a wide open layup in front of you, go take the points, and you go up a full 3 points, so full 1 possession. Anyway, Game 5 Saturday night. We're live on a Thursday, so if you're catching us over the weekend, this series may already be over. And that
I will stay awake.
Title drought, me too. That title drought may have already ended. Here's a look at it. Knicks have the 5th longest NBA championship drought. Kings, Hawks, Suns, Clippers, Knicks. 1973. And if you like some history, it's on the Knicks side here because only 15 teams in NBA playoff history have overcome a 3-1 series deficit, and it's only happened once in the finals. We've already referenced those 2016 Cavaliers to come back against the Golden State Warriors down 3-1. So everything points to the Knicks. I will just say this. If the Knicks don't win Saturday night in San Antonio, they better the heck win Game 6 at the Garden, because as good as they are and as good as any team could be, I don't want to roll the dice on a Game 7 no matter where it's played.
Here's a question for Knicks fans. Do you hope they get it done in Game 5 in San Antonio?
Yes.
Or do you hope they come back so that you can be in the building for it?
No.
There are plenty of people who would be dumb enough to say, bring it back here. I want to go to the game.
Dumb enough is the perfect phrase. Here's what you do, okay? You hope they win Game 5. I don't know what Madison Square Garden's schedule. I don't know what Madison Square Garden's schedule is, but you put people in the Garden and you watch it on the Jumbotron the way they did it at MVP Arena downtown Albany. They got a pretty good crowd. So bring fans into the Garden, let them party there and outside if New York wins Game 5.
But you're not going to get the celebs to come to a...
No, you're not.
You get the casual fan to go because it's not even like a good... I don't know that that's like a good viewing experience. It's probably not as good as watching it at home on your TV.
First of all, you make it free. So all those fans who couldn't afford to go to an actual game can at least say, right, they watched the Knicks win the title while sitting inside Madison Square Garden. I get it. It's not as great.
You should do PR for MSG.
Well, I'm sure they've already thought about this and whether or not they can do it, but think about it. You'd sell out. You'd fill the place because it's only 19,000 people, and there's so many people who can't afford to go to those games. You'd take pictures, you do the whole thing. It'd be part of the finals experience as a Knicks fan, right?
The question is, how do you do it for free? Because you get way too many people.
Lottery.
Yeah, you'd have to do a lottery.
And you'd have to do it in the next 36 hours.
Yeah. How about Celebrity Row?
Incredible.
Did you see Swizzle's shirt?
Saw it. Stevie Nicks.
And her friends had different Knicks shirts.
Nickelback. Sorry, Nickelback.
And Nicole Kidman.
Yep. And Mariska Hargitay, was she also wearing Stevie Nicks?
She put one on, yes. Yeah. Taylor must have brought one for her.
Yeah. I mean, all the former Knicks players, Larry Johnson, Patrick Ewing, Latrell Sprewell, John Starks. I saw Marcus Camby, Allen Houston, Bernard King.
All of them. They're all there.
And then, yes, Ben Stiller's always there. Chalamet's there. Kylie was there.
Now, you got to imagine Stiller, Chalamet, Spike Lee are all going to San Antonio.
Yes. I wonder if a guy like John McEnroe would get there too somehow. I mean, look, there are only so many tickets available.
Yeah.
But Johnny Mack was there. Jerry Seinfeld was there. Larry David. You said Taylor Swift. I saw John Calipari. I saw Adam Sandler. I mean, insane.
Rick Pitino.
Insane.
We were talking about Pitino sitting like 5 rows back, can't get a courtside seat because everybody else is too busy outbidding him.
The coach of St. John's. They play some of their games at the Garden. The guy can't get front row, courtside. Anyway, incredible stuff. Will the Knicks get it done Saturday night?
No, I think it comes back.
Me too. I worry. I think youth is on San Antonio's side because, I don't think the will has been broken. I don't think they have enough experience to. It's like ignorance is bliss in a lot of ways. Like you blew a 29-point lead. Okay, at this point, it's like what do we have to lose? Nothing. You go out there and play.
The good news is you're still down 3-1. Like,
yeah,
you haven't lost the series. A lot of times you think like, okay, you've got a shot. You got to, and I think you really do view it as like just got to go win this game, and it keeps our season alive. Like you go win one game. You don't think of it as I now have to win 3 in a row because that's impossible. And I think that really messes with you. You go win one game, then you get a chance to go win another game in New York. And if you're lucky, you get a chance to win one more game in San Antonio.
And we've said it, if the Spurs win game 5 and they know this, all the pressure shifts to New York, all of it.
Yeah. Because then, like you said, they don't want to go back to San Antonio. There's the pressure of doing it in the Garden. Like that pressure becomes immense to do it in front of all those fans who have been lifelong fans, and those you think that's not pressure to have all those celebrities lining and we need you to get it done now? No thanks.
I'm rooting for a game 6. I have no dog in this fight at all. I'm rooting for a game 6 because I love storylines. And so to everything you just laid out, the pressure that would come along with it, but also the opportunity to celebrate on your home court. I'm rooting for the storyline. We'll see.
Yeah, me too. But if I was a Knicks fan, which I sort of am, I would be like, go get it done. We'll party when you get back.
Yeah. All right, we'll take a break here on Onorato and Miller. We have a new highest paid player in the NFL. That's next. We're back in a minute.
Maybe this journey you're on has a purpose much greater than yourself. A purpose that goes beyond the field, the court, the gym. A crown awaits those who never give up. It's your time to dream again, to claim victory, and rise up. So what are you waiting for? It's time to rise. Claim your crown.
At Marcella's Appliance Center, our commitment is to you, providing essential appliances that families depend on for cooking, refrigeration, cleaning, and sanitation, plus appliance repair. You can have peace of mind that Marcella's is here for you today and every day, like we have been since 1957, helping you make the right choice with trusted brands like Whirlpool, Maytag, KitchenAid, and many more. Shop Marcella's Appliance Center in-store, online, or by phone. We're here for you.
And now, back to Onorato and Miller. Sponsored by Alpin House.
Well, for everybody who has felt like for a number of years Patrick Mahomes should be the highest paid quarterback in the NFL, he is now the highest paid quarterback and player, for that matter, in the NFL. $63.5 million per season, and that's how we're doing this. Is based on the annual average, right? The NFL contracts are always a little bloated in terms of overall numbers. That 504.8. It's a contract extension that will take him through 2033. And, the Chiefs restructure it. They'll have to figure some other things out here too. But ultimately, this is kind of where it should be, right? We talk about the hierarchy of quarterbacks. It's always the next guy who gets the big contract. And you start to look at the top five and you go, some of these guys aren't even Pro Bowlers. Well, Mahomes has been the best in the game for a while, and now he's the highest paid.
Yeah, I think it's interesting because I would like to know the ages of some of those guys. He feels a little bit older than some of the guys who have signed those contracts. So, listen, who deserves it more? Even if it's just like, hey, we're paying him back. It's what he deserves. We've gotten Super Bowls. He's been the MVP. Who cares? Let's ride it out. Fine. 2033 is a long way away for a guy who has been injured recently and feels like he's had a little bit of a tough time. He does not, granted, it hasn't been him, but he doesn't have the pieces necessarily around him that they had for those Super Bowl runs. And it's just starting to show a little bit that if you're going to pay this guy that much money, there needs to be a little bit of work done to the rest of the team in order to get back to Super Bowl caliber.
And people don't repeat this over and over again just because they think it's true. There's clearly something to it that teams win Super Bowls with quarterbacks either on rookie contracts or mid-level guys like a Sam Darnold last year, right? When you start to go into these territories, you're right, Ash, it's really difficult to put together a complete roster that's going to help Patrick Mahomes. It's protecting him with the offensive line. It's getting a running back that's competent. It's finding receivers that can get open and catch the football. It's, there's so much to it with a 55-man roster now that when you start to pay a quarterback like this, boy, that window shrinks even more. And you can ask Packers fans and Bills fans all about it. Like, good teams, young rosters in a lot of ways, but high-paid quarterbacks and maybe just not enough around them, right? Like Micah Parsons got hurt for Green Bay, and all of a sudden the defense couldn't do anything.
Yep, because
there's just not a lot there.
Protection there, and I think, listen, Travis Kelce at one point was his best weapon. Travis Kelce is potentially in his final year or two in the NFL. And while he is still productive, he's not their top weapon. He's not the guy that he used to be. So you want to talk about, there are names, but age happens quickly in the NFL. There's a reason why the window is so small and why the average career of players is something like 5 years, or you know what I mean? And that's because there are kind of the exceptions. But it's not a long window because of some of the injuries. So that starts to close really quickly. And if they never win another Super Bowl, you still are going to consider them, I think, a dynasty in a lot of ways for that run. But it would be considered disappointing if Mahomes never wins another Super Bowl.
Yeah, surprising. Maybe not disappointing, but surprising, right?
After
if a guy wins,
not disappointing.
If a guy wins 3, are you not like?
But it happened so quickly and so early that you've now opened for the rest of your career, like that, it works against you. It becomes an expectation, like, oh, you won 3 early, well, now go do it again. And that's what I think, like, that expectation is a little bit unfair unless you're going to put the pieces around him, because he can't do it by himself.
And you've lost twice too, by
Yep.
the way, right? So you've been there.
You've gotten there, but
Yeah. Yep.
for a while it looked like that was a team that was unbeatable.
Right. Yeah, you're absolutely right. All right, let's take a break here on Onorato and Miller while I get this Craig Melvin interview ready to rock for people. This was a fun one we were able to share on TV. Hope you guys enjoy it here as well on Onorato and Miller. We are back in a minute.
Maybe this journey you're on has a purpose much greater than yourself. A purpose that goes beyond the field, the court, the gym. A crown awaits those who never give up. It's your time to dream again, to claim victory, and rise up. So what are you waiting for? It's time to rise. Claim your crown.
Grab the family and get on the water in style with a Barletta pontoon featuring the power of a Mercury outboard motor. You'll be slicing through the waves with a smoother, quieter ride, leaving you to relax and soak up the sun. Whether you're cruising with a family or tubing and skiing, Barletta and Mercury will give you the best ride on the lake. With their unmatched reliability and refined performance, Barletta and Mercury won't let anything hold you back from having a summer you'll never forget. So don't wait. Stop by Alpenhaus Boats and start your next adventure today. Check out our great selection on Route 30 in Amsterdam and online at alpenhausboats.com.
And now, back to Onorato and Miller. Sponsored by Alpenhaus.
Would you describe yourself as glass half full, glass half empty?
Today, I'm going glass half full.
All right. Every weekday morning, we get things started with people at home on News Channel 13 today, 5 to 7 a.m. And then it's like a handoff at the 1-yard line. The easiest way you could score, you hand it off to the Today Show and the great team there, including Craig Melvin. He's been with the Today Show since 2018 and a co-host of Savannah Guthrie since 2025. Craig, man, it is a real pleasure to speak with you. Thank you so much for doing this.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Of course. Caitlin, Chris, good to see both of you. Thank you so much for handing off the baton every morning.
And then we're taking it back at 11 a.m. from Jenna and Chanel for this new show, Capital Region Lifestyle. You're one of our very first guests to be on with us. What is it that attracted you to this profession?
Oh, gosh. Oh, Chris, that's a big question. That's a big question for this time of morning. I mean, listen, my mother would probably tell you when I was a kid, I talked too much. I was very, very curious. I was a voracious reader. And when I started school, I would frequently ask questions without raising my hand, and the teachers didn't like that. And so at an early age, my mother decided to try to harness some of that energy, and I really got into like watching the local news. I grew up as a kid watching a lot of local news, and then when I was a little older, I took an internship at a local TV station. It's literally the only job I've ever had. So if I got fired tomorrow, I've got no other marketable skills. But it worked out. I was just curious. I like to read and I like to talk to people. So it was a natural fit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a similar story. I grew up watching local news too, so loved watching the Today Show my whole life as well. What would you say your favorite part about your career is?
That's a good question too, Kate. You know what? It's something new and different and exciting every day. I can go from, in a given week, I can go from interviewing a head of state to an A-list actor, to an athlete, to cooking with Martha Stewart. And sometimes that's within the span of 3 days.
Craig Melvin, the now host of the podcast Glass Half Full. Give me a white whale of a guest out there, Craig. You can talk about anything with anybody on a podcast like this. Who's on the list?
Chris, we listen. The Pope. Although I will tell you, Stephen Colbert tried desperately to get the Pope for his last show, to no avail. We have tried now since he became Pope, and we barely get a response to our emails. But I will tell you, the format is fantastic. Being able to spend 35 or 40 minutes talking to someone it's liberating, quite frankly. Because one thing about the Today Show, as you know, and you know this, you've been in the business for a long time. You get 3, 4, maybe 5 minutes if you're lucky. But to be able to spend 35 or 40 minutes with someone, that's a gift. And I've thoroughly enjoyed the format.
With news, obviously, we cover good things, but a lot of times we cover the bad. That was what was important for you with this podcast, right? Was to tell more good stories, talk to more influential people.
It's all good. That's all we focus on. We just focus on the light on the podcast. We've done a number of athletes. We've done a number of writers that I find especially interesting, people that I actually read. We get to spend some time talking about their latest project. So, we cover the news every morning for 3 hours. I didn't want to do a podcast that was just news and just newsworthy individuals. I wanted to find people that I legitimately think are interesting, and it's not just actors, it's not just athletes, it's writers, it's thought leaders, it's all of the above. So it's been actually quite liberating. And here's the thing: the best part is, by and large, Chris and Caitlin, I get to do it in my house. I get to do it in the basement. Keeps our costs down. I don't have to get dressed up. And we start with the same question. Every episode starts with the same question. And that, Caitlin, I was pleased to hear you say you're a glass half full. But every guest gets that same question to start. And it's, are you a glass half full person, glass half empty person? And I've discovered that the answer to that question reveals a lot about the person that you're talking to. And you would be surprised how many people are glass half empty.
Wow. And you get to have your bourbon too, right, on your podcast.
Shaq, yeah.
Oh, that's been but Shaq, Shaq was like, I'm glass half empty. I'm like, you, Shaq? You've got like 18 jobs. You're on TV 12 hours a day. You're glass half empty. He's like, yeah, I've always got something to prove, Craig. I've always got something to prove.
Yeah, that's the mentality. That's pretty good, man. That's the mentality of an athlete, right? Never satisfied in some way, even when you're as great as Shaquille O'Neal. I do want to ask you something about the camaraderie you all have on the Today Show. It is apparent as we watch you in our homes. What can you tell our viewers about the relationship you all have that in some way made it easier for Savannah to come back to y'all?
It's a family, and you both have been in this business long enough to know there have probably been times in your career where you kind of have to fake it with the person you're sitting next to for a couple of hours every morning. We haven't had to do that. I didn't grow up with sisters. I'm surrounded by women in the morning now who act as sisters. So I know what it's like to be a kid brother. And it's one of those places where you actually enjoy going to work every day. And that's not just a line. I know it sounds cheesy, but it's not a line. Like we legit enjoy getting up every morning, going to work. And when you get up and keep the hours that we keep, you doggone well better. And so it's, I've got a crazy uncle, an Al Roker. I've got an older sister in Savannah Guthrie, and Chanel and Jenna as well. And what you don't see, and I've said before, we should sell the commercial breaks because some of the grief that they give me in the commercial breaks, let me tell you, it is, I mean, it is just, some days Carson has to take up for me because, they're throwing spitballs at me nonstop.
Well, I want to tell you.
But to be fair, I invite it. So I typically poke the bear and bring it on myself.
Well, I was going to say you and Chris Onorato share that because he works around a team full of women too, and we never let him have the last word. That's for sure.
I don't get it at home. and I don't get it here. I don't get it either place.
All right,
but I'm used to it now.
I'm gonna run through some real quick here with you, Craig, if you're willing. Give us the atmosphere of New York City with the Knicks rolling right now. I know you were able to go to a game recently with your family, man. There's nothing like the Garden when it's alive.
Let me tell you, I haven't seen New York City this hyped about anything in a very long time. But it's funny because Knicks fans are long suffering.
Yeah.
I mean, I took my son to his first Knicks game earlier this season, and he got to meet, as I call him, Mr. Frazier. and Mr. Frazier, he wears his championship ring. He wears one of them on his fingers. And my son, he saw it, and Delano was like, "What?" He's like, "You won a championship with the Knicks?" And he was like, "That's the last one we ever won."
Yeah.
What year was that? And he was like, 1973. And without missing a beat, he turns to me, he's like, "Dad, that's before you were born." I was like, "Yes, calm down. It has been a while." But that's why we love sports.
Yeah.
It's one of the few things that unites all of us. And right now, the New York Knicks are doing just that. And it's a doggone shame that the tickets to the finals are cost prohibitive for 99.9% of the population, myself included.
It's insane. All right, let's run some rapid fire here, Craig, real quick, man. Caitlin, you want to alternate these with me?
Sure.
All right, here we go. First one, Craig. Would you rather be first or last to board a plane?
Ooh, first. I gotta get my bag in the overhead.
Okay.
All right, and I know you're a very stylish guy. If there was one color you could wear every day for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Yeah, you only get one.
Green.
Go with the eyes.
Love green.
Yeah. Okay.
Favorite color. Chris, you're so kind. You're very sweet, Chris.
Hey, how late is too late to start a night out? How late is too late to start a night out?
For me?
Yeah.
If anyone invites me to dinner after 6 o'clock, I'm annoyed.
Same.
And the reality is, if I stay up past like 9:30, I get up in the morning and my makeup artist, Deb Bell, like she gets very angry at me because I walk in and I've got these disgusting bags under my eyes.
Me too. My makeup artist gets mad at me too. I am.
She's just looking in the mirror, though.
Artist.
Yeah.
All right, final question. What movie sucks you in every time it's on TV? If you're doing something and you see it's on, you got to stop and watch it.
Shawshank Redemption.
Oh, that's a good one.
Shawshank Redemption.
That's a good one.
Followed closely maybe by A Few Good Men, but Shawshank Redemption, yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Great stuff.
Well,
Craig,
thanks for playing along, man. We
How about
appreciate
you?
it.
Like what's yours? What's your go-to? Like if you're watching something and
Mine's Titanic.
That's a long pause to the day.
Pretty sure we know how that ends. Pretty sure we all know how that ends.
And
But I love it every time.
There, but okay.
Yeah, and it's on all the time now, and I end up watching too much of it every time it's on. The new Top Gun
What?
Maverick.
a
It's
good
so
one.
good.
Oh yeah, you can't go wrong. Tom Cruise, he saved movies.
Yeah,
Single-handedly saved movies.
yeah, sure did. Craig, you're the best, man.
I've enjoyed this.
You were at the top of my list for
Yes.
guests for this new show, Capital Region Lifestyle, and look what happened. We
Yeah,
got him.
you
Craig
really are
Melvin
the
from the
best.
Today
Listen,
Show.
but Chris, I said to you, any guy that slides into my DMs on Instagram and asks for an interview, I'm like, that's pretty bold. I respect the game.
Hey, man.
I'm glad you did it, not me.
You got to shoot your shot, right?
So you shot it. Well done.
Oh, man.
And now I've blocked you. I'm kidding.
Cut that and
kidding.
save it for the first week of the show. Craig.
Oh, man.
Thank you, man.
Thank you so very much. You're the best.
For 62 years, Alpenhaus has helped families make more time for each other, away from the rush, away from the routine, and closer to the moments that matter. Because an RV isn't just about where you go, it's about having a place where everyone can come together. It's our 62nd anniversary sale, only at Alpenhaus, the Northeast premier outdoor destination. Don't put off that first trip. Right now, get this Coachman Leprechaun motorhome for as little as $575 a month.
At Marcella's Appliance Center, our commitment is to you, providing essential appliances that families depend on for cooking, refrigeration, cleaning, and sanitation, plus appliance repair. You can have peace of mind that Marcella's is here for you today and every day, like we have been since 1957, helping you make the right choice with trusted brands like Whirlpool, Maytag, KitchenAid, and many more. Shop Marcella's Appliance Center in-store, online, or by phone. We're here for you.
And now, back to Onorato and Miller. Sponsored by Alphen House.
Well, it was a fun conversation. Thought worth sharing here on Onorato and Miller, bringing back Craig Melvin from earlier in the week.
I think you're only supposed to be sliding into one person's DMs.
Oh, whose?
Me.
I can text you.
Same thing. That was funny.
I'll DM you before the next pod to make sure you're good to go.
That was so funny.
Yeah. And it felt like he was saving it.
So.
And he knew he nailed it.
Yeah, I don't know. The "now I've blocked you" felt pretty like
spontaneous.
It might have been.
Okay.
I don't know though, because by the end it was. I'm not sure that it was as teed up as you think.
Yeah, he nailed it. Either way,
killed it. It was so funny.
Yeah, really good. All right, we'll keep going here on O&M.
And now, Dirty, Difficult, and Done. Sponsored by Performance Industrial.
Bill Miller, his great squad at Performance Industrial, never a job too dirty or too difficult for them to get it done. This is a week and a half now going since a salary cap was proposed. And we know this for sure. MLB owners and players are headed towards difficult CBA negotiations this winter. It runs out December 1st. And they will not, I mean, there's no way they'll have a deal done before that. And we will start the clock on whether or not they can get a deal done before spring training to keep opening day on schedule. I have my doubts. The last time a salary cap was proposed by Major League Baseball's owners, 1994. And what did we get that year, Ash? We got a strike. So I think I think we're headed there anyway to a salary cap. And it's a ceiling and a floor. Oh, by the way, there are, I think, 5 teams above what would be the ceiling and 8 teams below what would be the floor. So you encourage the spending by the smaller market teams. Not all of them are just small market. Some of them are just cheap. But you would also regulate, let's face it, what the Dodgers are able to do.
I was going to say, like, people used to think the Yankees were bad. The Yankees haven't done anything like what the Dodgers have done in the last 3 years in their whole existence.
Yeah. So I think we're headed there. I don't know that it gets done amicably. I don't know that it gets done in order to keep opening day on track. I don't know that it gets done this round of CBA negotiations, to be honest with you. But obviously the seed is being planted here that it's coming no matter what. You have it in the NFL, NBA, NHL. The NBA is interesting because it's such a soft cap, and there are aprons and penalties for teams that go above the cap, and if they live there for 3 or 5 years, it costs you more. There are things you can do if you're Major League Baseball to allow the Dodgers to keep spending money. They're just going to have to pay for it. Yeah. So it's not a hard cap. You can propose something like that. Anyway, it's going to be something worth watching here for quite a while because, again, I just don't think it gets done very easily. All right, we've got Chris Ballard, longtime sports writer, author of a third book, still to come here on Onorato and Miller. We'll let Ash run. We'll also look at the World Cup odds before we say goodbye this week. Live on a Thursday afternoon. Yes, thank you very much. Sometimes I'm not sure what day of the week it is, but I know tomorrow's Friday. That much I do know. Yeah, that's the good stuff. All right, Chris Ballard, as I queue up the interview here with him, is next here on Onorato and Miller. We're back in a minute, everyone.
waves this summer. Shop Sea-Doo at Alpenhaus Boats, Route 30 in Amsterdam.
Nothing better than a chance to unwind at the end of the day. And a Wellness Spa can turn your home into the perfect place to relax, catch up, and enjoy a few quiet moments. With powerful hydrotherapy jets, soothing lighting, and thoughtful design, every soak melts the day away. More relaxation, more time together, more moments to look forward to. Right now at Alpenhaus, step into your own Wellness Spa for as little as $7,995. Alpenhaus Pools and Hot Tubs, Amsterdam and Clifton Park.
And now, back to Onorato and Miller. Sponsored by Alpenhaus.
Back on Onorato and Miller, and now with the great sports writer and author, Chris Ballard, here on our show. Chris, it's a pleasure, man. I've followed your work for a long, long time through Sports Illustrated and, of course, many other publications that you've been part of with your coverage of the NBA, which is where I really want to start. Covered this league for a long time, man. Can you give us some perspective on what the Knicks are doing here? Because I just, for me, I grew up in New Jersey. The Garden is a special place, obviously. But when I think about great Knicks teams, I don't look at this roster and this team and say, oh, this is one of the great Knicks teams that I kind of grew up with in the 90s. So how are they doing this?
Well, part of it is the Spurs are collapsing. Let's be honest,
okay.
a little bit. But I think it's a testament to having role players who buy into their roles. Often what you see on NBA rosters is players like Jonathan Kuminga is a great example. When he was with the Warriors, Kuminga wanted to be a star, but there was a specific role that the Warriors needed him to play with Steph Curry and Draymond and Jimmy Butler. And Kuminga, he couldn't quite figure that out. Then you look at the Knicks. Anunoby is the absolute hero after last night. He's been a hero the whole series, but he's a hero partly because he's doing exactly what they need him to do. Josh Hart is doing exactly what they need him to do. There's no confusion, and it's so cool to watch a team like that. No one internally is like, oh, man, Brunson gets too many shots, Mitch Robinson's not like, feed me the ball more. I need my post-ups. So it's, magical to watch, and seeing the Garden rocking like that. I think probably back to the We Believe Warriors was the last time with Don Nelson and all that, where you saw that kind of energy, just magical.
I was just going to say, okay, so I'm guessing you've seen it firsthand, heard about it. When the Garden is at its best and at its worst. Yeah. Man, the celebrities were out for game 3 and 4, and nobody left early, to my knowledge, because I saw a lot of them celebrating afterwards. When it's at its best, where does it rank? What do fans not know about Madison Square Garden when it's alive?
The intimacy of it. So I'm sure people have been to a concert there. When you feel, there's a very different feel than some of the arenas that feel cavernous. And then a lot of them feel corporate. Of course, MSG is corporate. But what I love is when they pull back and you see the cameras last night and you could see the crowds outside, you could see the New Yorkers, because New Yorkers, they're not gonna give you a lot of leeway. When I first started covering the league in the early 2000s, James Dolan was an absolute, he was the villain. He was a villain for a long time. And they were denying access to sports writers. Fans are booing. So if you're down, they're not going to sugarcoat it. I think that's what makes it so impressive when they're up. Philly's the same way. Like Philly fans are like, if you're not giving us the product, we're going to let you know about it.
The book you've got out now is called The Plunge, Simon & Schuster, Amazon. I love it if you go to a local bookstore, but if you want it before Father's Day, you can get it delivered before then as well. We hear a lot about people doing cold plunges for their health. Like maybe they even have a tub at home if you're fortunate enough to do something like that to get your day started. Where did this phenomenon come from in terms of testing ourselves, fortifying maybe who we are and our will, and how it kind of helps build people and character?
Yeah. And I actually came to it through the NBA. So I was in my early 40s. I was a basketball player in college, not a very good one, but I love the game and I wanted to keep playing, the old man leagues. And I've been covering the league for so long, the NBA, that had all these contacts. And selfishly, I was always asking them, do you have any recovery tips? Like, how do I keep playing in my Sunday game longer? And it was a trainer who knows a lot of the players who's like, there's this new thing they're all doing, and it's going into intense cold. Not like your normal ice bath, not like you just put your ankle in, but 39 degrees up to your neck, and you go down for a couple minutes, and then you alternate with heat. And I was a little skeptical at first, and I started trying it myself. And I talked to Steph Curry, and I talked to Klay Thompson, and these guys that just swore by it. And then I realized that part of what was drawing them to it was not just the recovery for basketball, but was the feeling you get after. And anyone, like I'm sure, you guys are in Albany, there are people who will go polar plunging in the winter. It's like a shot of neurochemicals. You feel amazing. Whatever intrusive thoughts you had prior to going into that water, they are gone, man. And so that's a large part of the appeal. So there's physical stuff that's going on if you're an athlete, and then there's this boost. And so we've seen studies involving mental health, depression. This is a way to, especially in like long winters in a place like Norway, for example, they rely on this.
Where did the idea for a book come along? Not based just on that, obviously, but across the idea of being in cold waters.
I wrote a story for Sports Illustrated. I became fascinated. I started looking into it more, and that's what drew me into this whole world of open water swimmers. I'm not sure if some of your listeners and viewers are familiar with this. These people that might swim like the English Channel, they're going to go, swim around Manhattan, and it's a different level of endurance. I think it's akin to the ultra marathoners, and I was fascinated by the psychology of that. Because if you're going to push yourself those distances, and often in really cold water, you are fighting both yourself, you're fighting the water, and in a certain extent, you have to be okay with yourself. If you're going to spend 9 hours staring right down into dark water, that's a lot of time to really be with yourself in your own head. And so I started profiling these people, and I was like, this world would be great for a narrative nonfiction book. So it's a little bit like Born to Run, if anyone remembers that, where it's barefoot running. You're not going to go, swim in 45-degree water yourself, but it's interesting to read about people that do.
Maverick swimmers is not a term or a phrase that I was familiar with.
Yeah. So in this case, the extreme of this is people who do something called ice swimming. And ice swimming is 41 degrees Fahrenheit or lower. And all you're doing is we're wearing a cap, goggles, and a Speedo. There's no neoprene. There's no insulation. There's no booties. This is like beyond cold plunges. And I was very curious, like, why do people do this? Because it's not performative. It's not like you jump in a cold plunge tub on Instagram. You're like, yeah, I did it, for 30 seconds. You're putting your head in the water and you're swimming. And there's this whole sport that's grown around it in the last 20 years. And they're trying to get it into the Winter Olympics. And they're actually have a pretty good shot. At the last World Championships of ice swimming, they had actual Olympians competing. And they have a TV feed. It's huge in Europe. And they're hoping Salt Lake, if not the Winter Olympics after that. So part of the book is me reporting out this, what sounds like an eccentric sport, but really it's a story of like, how do you build a sport, an extreme sport, and bring it to the mainstream?
You have a book on basketball. You have a book on baseball. Did you ever think, and I know in today's sports media, right, like we can't be in a box. We know that. You're asked to do so much more than ever before, that the specialization thing is almost gone at this point. But did you ever think that it wouldn't be one of the 4 major North American sports? I don't know.
No, I had only done a couple stories on swimming. I had done stories on recovery. Once again, sort of as you get older, you become more interested in this, and there's so much science around that. So it was the combination of those two things that was interesting to me. But really, as a sports writer, I'm always interested in the human side of it. And it was the people here that hadn't been written about. Like if you want to do an interview with LeBron, you got 6 months lead up, and you might get 15 minutes, and he's answered a lot of questions before. So you better be good. You know this, right? Here's a whole universe of people who haven't been written about, who have really interesting backstories and motives. So I could write a narrative around it. That's what appealed to me.
And, look, I've never interviewed LeBron. I probably never will. But when we cover high school teams, right, just for our kind of audience here, when you go to the same high schools over and over, to your point, like even a lot of those players answer the same questions. But when you go to some of those smaller schools, the lesser covered sports even as well, there's a level of appreciation where maybe you get a better interview. Did you experience that as well?
Oh, for sure. They have stories to tell and no one's asked them. And that's part of our role, right, as journalists, is to find those undiscovered stories. And then secondarily, this particular world, you're choosing to do something that 99% of the population won't do. So I'm really curious about the why. The how is interesting as well, but really the why.
Yeah.
And it was a lot of them were people who were between 35 and 55, and they had reasons. There may be some trauma. There was something in their life. And one of these guys, an Irish ice swimmer, told me it's basically the more hard stuff you do in life, the easier it is to do hard stuff. Whether that's like losing your job, loss in the family, things where you have to show this resilience. And then here is a physical manifestation of that. And that to me was really appealing.
Very interesting. What are some of the, I don't want to use strangest as the word, but what are some of the places that this book took you that you maybe didn't know you'd ever explore in your life?
For sure. I went to the northern tip of Norway, where the winter, there's no sun, for a month and a half. And I went plunging with the northernmost polar plunging group in the world in Tromsø, Norway. There's killer whales are in the harbor, and they build a fire on the beach, and you just go down. Some of them just going naked, and you just go in the dark and you come out. And it's partly a way to deal with seasonal affective disorder, like that depression you get when there's no sunshine. Finland, where saunas are big, what they do is their saunas, their smoke saunas, and then they carve a hole in the ice and they do that. So there I went into a sauna that was 268 degrees Fahrenheit, which is like where you smoke pork. And so that was a fascinating physical experience, because you got so hot that by the time you were done and you went and jumped in the Baltic Sea, again naked, you were not worried about the cold. You were so happy to get in that really cold water. So that was the traditional way to do it. Like here, you'll see people, they jump in like a cold plunge at home, and they go in a hot shower. But that was getting a sense of the ancestral ties to this.
And so you've lived some of this. As you're doing it, was there pressure to take part in some of it? Like, maybe they want to see the author kind of be with it. Hey, you're going to write about us. You got to experience it yourself a little bit.
For sure. And that was my way in, was when I first wrote it. There was a U.S. Nationals for ice swimming, of course. And when I showed up, the question everyone had for me as an outsider and a journalist is, well, are you swimming? Because if I wasn't, then I'm probably going to see them as, like eccentrics, eclectic people, whatever it might be. And in this case, I was like, yes, I am swimming. I had trained up. I'd done it all. I was scared as heck. I was absolutely terrified to do this. But doing so, I realized I generally had underestimated myself, because you can do it. You just have to train for it. And I somehow actually end up making the national team and competing at the World Championships in Italy. So that's the sort of the final part of the book, is what it's like for this outsider, a guy I hated cold water, to go do something like this.
How long did the book take, from maybe just formulating in your mind to putting it all together?
Yeah, it was about 3 years. Traveled, it was 11 countries, hundreds of interviews, research labs, scientists. And then, of course, the reporting part that I hadn't done before was I was writing about myself to a certain extent, to try to take readers through, what would it be like if you decided to go get in, in my case, 35-degree water in Boston Harbor in the middle of the winter and swim a kilometer.
So let me get into your why here, right? Somebody will hear 3 years on a project. Most times I have a week at most to turn a story, right? And you're on to the next one. Labor of love is overused, but what is your why in terms of the books that you put out, including this new one, The Plunge?
Yeah, I feel like if I'm not curious and I'm not learning as a writer, then the reader isn't going to get anything out of it. So for me, that's always the test. Is this a short story? Is it a magazine story? How interested can I continue to find things that surprise me? And this was one where the more science I learned, the more history I learned, the more people I talked to, I kept finding things that interested me. And I feel like that's a good litmus test. If I start getting bored of a subject, the reader is certainly going to be bored.
Yeah, and that was okay. You led right into my next question there, which is why, if I'm a traditional sports fan,
right? What am I getting out of this book if I see it on the shelf or they see this interview, right? What are you, we hope your readers take away and learn from this if they're not in this world?
Well, part of it's hopefully it's a story. So, you kind of think when you start reading, there's characters, there's stakes, there's narrative tension, everything you would get in reading like a nonfiction book, David Grand, something like that. And then you'll learn a lot. And then you probably will have a different appreciation or skepticism about your neighbor or friend who goes and jumps in the bay on the weekend, whatever it might be. You'll come away with this little pocket of knowledge about this world.
Well, there are businesses that pop up everywhere now for cold plunging and saunas, and it is, beyond the life of the NBA in terms of recovery. That's for sure. Chris, this was a treat for me, man. As I've said, I've read you for many years and really enjoy your work. So thank you for giving us the time here at the NBC in Albany, New York. Again, the book is The Plunge: Maverick Swimmers, An Unlikely Quest and the Transformative Power of Cold Water. Many years with Sports Illustrated and a number of different publications. You've seen his work. Simon & Schuster, Amazon, and your local bookstores as well. Chris, thank you, man.
Hey, thank you, guys.
Using the highest quality materials, artisanal craftsmanship, and creative design, we're ready to help bring the vacation experience to your own home. With custom-designed Legacy Edition pools, we're confident we can turn your backyard into your own personal oasis. And we'll be by your side through the whole process. Get outside this summer with Alpenhaus. Be sure to visit our 16,000 square foot showroom expansion on Route 30 in Amsterdam. Alpenhaus Pools and Hot Tubs, Amsterdam and Clifton Park.
Maybe this journey you're on has a purpose much greater than yourself. A purpose that goes beyond the field, the court, the gym. A crown awaits those who never give up. It's your time to dream again, to claim victory, and rise up. So what are you waiting for? It's time to rise. Claim your crown.
And now, back to Onorato and Miller. Sponsored by Alpenhaus.
Chris Ballard, good to talk with him. Check out his book, The Plunge, out now. Doing this show live on June 11th. Book came out on the 9th, and a guy who covered the NBA for a long time. Still very plugged in, obviously, and impressed by what the New York Knicks are doing. Why shouldn't he be? I think we all are at this point. As I said to I'm like, hey, man, I don't know. Just haven't viewed this team as a championship team. What does that mean, though, right? For me. All right, some World Cup odds here real quick before we've got to run. The World Cup is underway. Spain is your favorite. France close behind. And then you've got to go all the way down to 15th on the list to get to the U.S. men's national team. I was talking to a buddy at work, and I said, should get out of the group stage, but probably will lose in the round of 16. And, I think we have to be okay with that as American soccer fans on the men's side. Compete, advance out of group play, and maybe you win one after that. But man, let's just enjoy it a little bit, right? Have a great weekend, everybody. Thanks for watching Onorato and Miller. Enjoy the World Cup. Let's see what happens in those NBA finals. We'll see you next week.